I just wanted to start by saying that I'm, and for those of you, and there are many of you here, because I've met so many of you in just the short few hours that I've been here, who are William and Mary devotees. It's, for a newbie like me, and you guys have probably all heard this before, it's really quite striking. It's an extraordinary place. The sense of hospitality, the sense in Williamsburg and on the campus here. I've never been to the campus before. It's just extraordinary and in a way quite overwhelming to think that for 300 plus years this kind of revolutionary thinking has been going on here, and it has driven the kind of loyalty and the kind of attention to detail and ownership and freshness for the concepts of freedom and liberty and revolutionary thinking and so many of the things that all of us in the rest of the country enjoy every day. I'm one of those wow people who just is experiencing this for the first time, and it's really amazing. Like everybody else who comes here, I spent one night at the Williamsburg Inn last night, and I want to bring my family down. I want to turn everybody I know onto it. It's just a very compelling and very exciting place. Before we get started, a couple of people have mentioned Stan Liddick from IBM last night, and he really gave, for those of you who were not there, he gave a smaller group a great talk on how an enormous company, a company that's been around for 100 years plus, has 435,000 employees, I think $100 billion in revenue, how they have taken social responsibility to a level of corporate culture that is really quite incredible. He took us through in classic IBM style. This wasn't a talk from a do-gooder, though I think he is probably one of the most prominent do-gooders in the world, but he empirically took us through why it's good business to think in socially responsible ways, why it's great business to try to solve the biggest problems of the world, to spend $200 million a year, not on philanthropy, not on just giving money away, but on planting seeds, creating solutions, building bridges from the halls of IBM out through the world to help, from a thinking standpoint, make this, as they say, a smarter planet. And the big takeaway from that conversation last night was that making us a smarter planet, it's not just a nice thing to do. From a business standpoint, it's great business and it's revolutionary thinking. At Forbes, we've always been all about entrepreneurship. Our masthead also speaks to, with all thy getting, get understanding. In every issue of the magazine, the top of our masthead, that's what we say. It's from Proverbs. And we try to think not just about making money, but about what making money means, what its impact can be, what do different people in different places around the world do with it, and how do they help it drive the kinds of thought and the kinds of return that people are looking for. And coincidentally, last night I met Chris Atkins, who runs the undergraduate program here. And Chris's brother, younger brother, of whom he's very proud, works for Forbes and has been influential in my first year at Forbes. I joined the company a year ago as the first non-Forbes CEO of the business, which is an interesting job. I can tell you guys about that at some other time. It's not the story for today, but it's been fascinating. And as part of my first year at the company, and as part of a lot of change within the company, we rewrote our mission statement. And Kevin played a very central role, Kevin, Chris's brother, in helping us redraft our kind of revolutionary thinking and our new mission. And before I begin to introduce the day, I just wanted to read this to you, not as an advertisement for Forbes, but as a reflection that, like IBM and like other organizations on the planet, we're beginning to shift our thinking away from the dynamics of the last several decades and towards an approach to helping solve some of these problems as part of a good business approach. Let me just read this to you quickly, and then we'll move on. There are those who chase their destiny, those who don't leave their aspirations behind at the bar, but instead dedicate their lives to turning napkin doodles into deeds. They don't just think big or talk big, they accomplish big. At Forbes, those are the people we celebrate because we believe big dreamers are a dime a dozen. It's the big doers that we care about, the visionaries and the entrepreneurs who see the world not as it is, but what it could be, and then do something about it. We at Forbes we have always put our faith in the ability of these individuals to use the power of free enterprise to revolutionize industries, transform markets, and even raise entire nations out of poverty because they solve problems. They move civilization forward. That's why our mission from day one has been to inspire doers and doings, to celebrate the people behind the drive, to give them information, inspiration, and a forum to help them realize their potential. And we do our best to encourage those who believe their success won't be measured in just dollars, but by the impact that their endeavors will have on generations to come. These are the destiny changers, the industry changers, the market changers, the humanity changers. Are you one of them? Then join the conversation, raise your voice, make a difference. The change we need begins right here, right now. So I share that with you. It's what we do at Forbes, and I think in a way, it's what we want to try to do here today at this truly unique and singular event. So now it's my job as we do this for the first time, and we're all participants in an experiment here. So there are no dumb things, there are no real traditions that we need to uphold. We're doing this for the first time, and we're going to form this as we go. But the way the program will work today is that we will move from several groups of discussions around these topics: health, environmental sustainability, education, food and water, impact investments and scaling, and legal frameworks. There'll be 2 or 3 speakers on each of these subjects. When the speakers have completed their presentations to you, at your round tables, you'll hold your own conversations. Those conversations will be, there'll be students at each of your tables. They'll be participating in the conversation, but they'll also be capturing the conversation and delivering those conversations right to the whiteboards on the SEcon microsite. So as we speak, those things will be happening. And as the day progresses, we'll begin to build a truly great database of interesting thought and exciting exchange on that whiteboard. So that's the first part of the day. As we move along, I'll explain some of the other elements of things that are going on, including our interest in having you offer testimony, confessional in some cases, we're going to call it, to a video booth that's set up outside here, and we'll direct you there as the day goes on. And we also have a student poster program that we'll tell you more about later in the day. So I'll be back and forth up here. Thank you again for including me. I think that Virginia's chances of moving from second to number 1 have gone up dramatically, simply based on my night so that's another kind of getting understanding. But it really is a pleasure to be here. Thank you so very much. And I'll reintroduce Mike Holtzman, who's going to take the next steps with the program. Thanks.